Sketch the graph of y equals 8 to the power x, stating the coordinates of any points where the graph crosses the coordinate axes. So I know that any graph of some number to the power x is going to look something like this. The 8 just adjusts the scaling of it. So I know it's going to have that shape. I know it's going to intercept on the y-axis at 1 because 8 to the power 0 is 1. I'm also going to put in the horizontal asymptote, which I know is going to be the x-axis here. So that's the line y equals 0. And so it's going to look something like this. Part B, describe fully the transformation which transforms the graph y equals 8 to the power x to the graph of y equals 8 to the power of x minus 1. So the only difference between these is the second one has an x minus 1 inside the function. It's like me doing that. So I know that affects the x coordinates, and I do the opposite, so I would add 1 to all of the x coordinates. The graph would shift 1 square to the right. So it is a translation one square or 1 unit in the positive x direction. Alternatively, you could use a vector to do that. You could just say translation by 1, 0. Part II, describe the transformation which transforms the graph of y equals 8 to the power x minus 1 to the graph of y equals 8 to the power of x minus 1 plus 5. So the only difference between this and this is the plus 5 on the outside. So that's like me doing this, which affects the y coordinates, and we will just add 5 to all the y coordinates, which will shift it up by 5 squares in the positive y direction. So this is a translation 5 squares or 5 units in the positive y direction. Alternatively, you could use the vector. You could say translation by 0 squares in the x direction, 5 squares in the y direction.